welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for checking it out. Today we'll be looking at this little device here. This is the SF2000. This is a handheld emulator device for classic video games, Super Nintendo, Nintendo, some others as well. It's always nice to have the real hardware that you can play with these things, but it's also really nice to have emulation in the palm of your hand. Anyway, let's check out and see if this thing is worth what I paid for it. See you after the intro. So I've got this handheld game station that I got from AliExpress, but apparently it had some good reviews. So let's take a look at this thing and see what we think. So I just opened this. I haven't opened the box. I took it out of the package, but this is the first time actually opening the box here. So inside we have plastic wrapped handheld game station. Let's look at that. It's got some protection on the screen, I think. Supposed to come off, right? There we go. Let's set that over to the side. So supposedly this is one of the best handheld Super Nintendo emulators that you can get from probably anywhere, but specifically AliExpress. It's also in the box. We have charge cable, USB A to USB Type C, and we have video out. And so this must plug into the device, and then we can do composite out. That's pretty cool. I think I remember reading that or seeing that in the video. Let's set these things to the side here. Oh, and we got some instructions too. Alright, so let's move this stuff around. Look briefly at these instructions. Looks like it's Chinese here and English on this side. Alright, so let's go through this quick. Handheld game, machine operation manual, QC pass. It's interesting, they say QC pass there. Function keys, start, select, main interface, game list, user-defined game steps, hardware function, maintenance. All right, good enough. Well, I'd say this feels a lot like a Super Nintendo controller, but it's got a bulge here. You can see that where it sticks out. Maybe like that, yeah. Where the battery, I presume the battery is, there's a little compartment here. But, you know, it doesn't feel too bad in the hands. The shoulder buttons aren't great. Everything else feels pretty okay. I'm not sure about the stick, but let's turn it on and see what we get. See if we can figure out how to turn it on. Is this the power switch? It must be. We've got a light. Welcome in a wacky font there. Oh, the Bateria Fracca. Presume that means low battery. Well, let's plug it in. See if we can't get it to operate. All right, so I plugged this in. Should go in here. There we go. So it looks like we're in Spanish. Maybe. I guess I don't know what language it is, but I think that means for the Super Famicom there's 1,167 games on this system. And we do have volume control. Turn that down a little bit. User ROMs and settings. Okay, Portuguese is what we were in. Russian, Korean, French, German, Italian, Polish, English. To go back. I'm going to go all the way around again. Ah. There we go. Alright, so we can select the system and search, I guess, for ROMs. NTSC or PAL, which makes sense. And don't have any games on here, obviously. Alright. So it looks like this is a micro SD card slot here. Let me just grab a micro SD card. And make sure it fits in there. I don't obviously have any, well, I don't know if it's obvious, but I don't have any ROMs on this card since it's new. Let's just see if that fits in there. I assume that's what this is for. Actually, is there a card in there? There is a card in there. There is. Oh, okay. 16 gigabyte. A little hard to get in. I could just chip my thumbnail. Okay, well, damage to my thumbnail aside, that seems fine. I guess it's apparently okay with having that taken out while it's running. Cool. Well, let's play a game. So I got this because it was for Super Nintendo or Super Famicom. Let's see, did I just load the first game there, or did this... What are we loading into here? And obviously the start and select button are over here. So this is Sonic Wings. Okay, so pushing start and select, as with most of these, does take you out. Okay, so how do we browse these games? Let's go through. Oh, that takes us here. Oh, start is open. So let's hit start. Oh, there we go. There are all the Super Famicom games. Apparently 1,167 of them. So I think with this many games, that must be why there is the search option. And I also have MAME support, which is cool. Alright, so let's go to search. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell you which system each is on, but it gives you a little preview picture. So Ice Hockey, definitely Nintendo. ESPN National Hockey Night, definitely Super Nintendo. Is this the best hockey game ever made? No, I think I would give that title to NHL Hits 2002. Not realistic at all, but very fun to play. In terms of realistic hockey, this might be one of my favorite games. I know definitely have some nostalgia creeping in. Let's give this a quick try. It seems like the emulation is running just fine. See a little bit of tearing on the screen. But it's not too bad.
Hello everybody, I'm Bill Clement and welcome.
Thanks, Bill. Long time no see. But yeah, let's just go ahead and start this game.
Alright, let's go down to ice level for the opening face-off.
Well, it's been quite a while since I played this game, so hopefully I can remember how it goes. But I do have very fond memories of it. Can I use the stick? I can use the stick. Oh, look at that! Right off the bat. Alright, cool. Well, I do see some, like, yeah, definitely some tearing here. I saw a couple of, like, refresh lines, but when it fades in and out, you can definitely see the tearing. So, not super great for probably fast action games, but it is playable. Totally usable. I mean, I got a goal. Obviously, it works, right? Let's just give a Nintendo game a try. Oh, it's the ESPN's National Hockey Night. Clearly the better game. Yeah, emulation here looks good. I didn't see any tearing there. So I think, and you can even see the tearing when it's going to these menus. I don't know how that's being captured on the camera, but it's definitely there. Yeah, and just mashing start and select takes you back to the main menus. I did want to hook it up to a TV to see how that looks as well. So let me grab my little portable TV and let's give that a try. All right, so I've got my portable TV. The cord they give you to go with this, I would say, is about 10 feet long. So if you wanted to play on like a TV in your living room, you'd have to be kind of close to the screen. And look, when you plug in the AV, it turns the screen off. All right, so usually you see white for audio, yellow for video. Oh, okay, there I guess is right there. Let's turn the sound up on this fellow. All right, so now it's running on here, and I can use the controller to control it. See, that seems pretty usable to me. So yeah, you know, if you had a full-size TV and wanted to play some Super Nintendo or you know, any of the other emulators on here, certainly seems like you'd be able to. So that's pretty cool. A 2.4G wireless game controller. So can this... That's a good question. I didn't even see that before. Does that mean this can connect to my internet? My Wi-Fi? What would the point of that be? Yeah, I don't see any way to connect this to Wi-Fi. I'm not sure why you would want to, other than maybe copying things to it, but I would imagine you can just yank the card out and then put more ROMs in there. Very interesting. All right, so not sure what 2.4G wireless game controller is all about. Maybe that's in the instructions on the English side. Maintenance, special precautions, warranty, hardware function. Nothing about 2.4G in here. User-defined games. Download the game's computer. Link the card. Open the ROMs. Copy. Yeah, nothing. Oh. It can be used with SF900 wireless handle when playing with two people. Please turn the wireless handle switch to P2 function. Wireless handle switch. Yeah, I don't know what that is. So apparently you can get a second device to go with this. Yeah, I don't know what that would look like though. Yeah, I'm looking here. I think 3D rocking bar is what they call the analog stick. All right, so I've had a chance now to play with this little device for a while, and I found some interesting things out about it. So if we go to search, and let's say we wanted to play Super Mario World. There's so many Marios, you got to scroll down to find it. And then when you get to Super Mario World, there's two here. This one is actually Yoshi's Island. We'll come back and talk about that. But playing Super Mario World, once you find it, everything seems to work fine. The save states seem to work just fine. Let me turn some sound up here. But what I've noticed is that sometimes this game runs really slowly. Like so slow that it's unplayable. Look at how slow Mario's going between these levels here. But it doesn't always happen. And I don't know what makes it work and what makes it not work. And see, now it's running fine. And you can tell because the music is good. I'll load my save state back in. So now it's running just fine. Everything's good. So you just got to restart it, I guess. I mean, for the price you paid for this thing, that's not the worst thing in the world. But it's a little annoying. Not the end of the world. But what I found is that Super Mario World Yoshi's Island is always slow. Like this game, no matter how many times I would launch it, it just runs so slowly. And you can see that this game has the worst tearing of any game probably on the system. And this is just the intro screen. It's running really slowly. But let's get into the actual game here. You can see it's stuttery, and it's just super slow. And listen to that music. So this game, no matter how many times I've restarted it, just is always running this slow. That's too bad, because this is a fun game. I like this game. But, you know, that being said, Super Mario World, the regular one, mostly works fine. I didn't notice a lot of tearing with that one, unlike Yoshi's Island, which is just Tear City. But this game works. You know, one caveat, these games do have built-in save features. You know, so I've just selected a new game here. If I got to a save point, I could save it. But you have to remember that the device itself is where you need to save it. So once you get to a certain level and save it, then you actually have to go and create the snapshot here as well. It's the same on Switch with the virtual console there, so it's not unheard of. It's not necessarily a problem. Just something to remember that you need to do. And then let's talk about the controller and the feel of these games. So I was playing some original Zelda, which is one of my favorite games of all time. And so this is for Nintendo Entertainment System, or Famicom home computer. I have a saved game here. Of course, it's where I just died, because that's what I wanted to talk about, these controls. So the D-pad is not great. You know, it's got a lot of travel, and it's really clicky. So if you're, you know, trying to listen to the game, you're hearing a lot of yourself pushing the buttons. The buttons themselves over here, A, B, X, Y, they're okay. They're not the best, but they're certainly usable. But this D-pad is not great at all. I mean, it's really kind of difficult to push because the travel distance is so far. So, I mean, even just playing this game, like, it's not a super great experience. It works, and if I had nothing else, yeah, it's fine. I think for some of the other games that are on here, probably things are better, but a game like Zelda, where you're using the controller a lot, I think you're better served by using one of these, you know, for similar screen size. It's a little bit smaller, and of course this only has the Zelda games on it, but this I have found is just so much better. This D-pad just is amazing compared to this one. You know, it's super quiet. There's not that much travel. It's a nice small pad, which is more like the Nintendo that you're used to. This one definitely more Super Nintendo sized, but yeah. So overall, I also saw that now that I've been looking for the original link for this, where I saw it, there's been like hundreds of videos posted about this thing. So this is perhaps my least original video that I've ever made. But I started making it, so we'll finish it. So I'm not going to link to the video in the description. You can just go look for this this device out there, and you'll find lots of reviews about it. Again, it's the SF2000. I think it's by Frog, Game Frog, not Leapfrog, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's about 20 to 25 bucks. I think right now on AliExpress it's about 24, but there's a $2 coupon and there's free shipping, so 22 bucks will get you this. Would I recommend buying it? I would, as long as you know what you're getting into. So, you know, don't expect great controls, but the form factor is really awesome. Like, this is just such a cool looking device. It's got the games. Most of them work from what I've seen. So yeah, I mean, at that price, knowing what's going to work, what's not going to work, it's not a deal breaker for me. I'm happy I have it. I'm probably going to play a whole bunch of stuff on it, and maybe I'll have a different opinion later, but I think with just the playtime I've done so far, I do like this device, but there are things I would improve. But at the price point, it's going to be really hard to beat, to find anything near that price that has the functionality that this thing has. I think the only other complaint I have is that there's really no settings to speak of. You can change the output between NTSC and PAL, you can change the language, and that's it. There's no other settings that you can modify on here. I haven't copied any of my own ROMs on here because every ROM that I have is already on here. So, I mean, I could copy one on just to, you know, try it out and make sure it works, but I don't really think that's going to be what a lot of people are using this for. So anyway, overall, I give it a, let's say, B-. If you can get it for 22 bucks and you're okay with this D-pad not being the best, you're okay with some of the games not working, go ahead and get it. I mean, it's going to take 4 to 6 weeks to get here, and maybe by that time you'll have forgotten that you ordered it, and it'll be a whole new surprise for you, and you'll overlook some of those minor technicalities. Anyway, I think that concludes my review for this thing. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.